that we were talking about regarding 4700 Sun Valley Boulevard. She stated that she had had a miscarriage at home, and then informed me that she had taken that fetus, as she described it, and placed it in a garbage can at the apartment complex that she was living at the time.
Did she describe whether or not she had, similarly to this case, wrapped that fetus or baby in any type of towel or trash bags?
She described that instance as almost identical to the circumstances surrounding this incident, with the exception of her being in the shower on that occasion and being on the toilet in this occasion.
Did the child survive in that instance?
It did not.
In the 2023?
It did not.
And did Ms. Dickinson was never charged for any crimes in relation to the 2023 incident, is that true?
That is true.
Now, she did mention that she had 2 other children to you, correct?
That is correct.
And that's 2 living children.
That is correct.
Did she make any statements about whether or not Ms. Dickinson wanted any more children?
She did. She stated that she had no desire to have any additional children, citing that financially her family was living paycheck to paycheck at this point, and they really could not support an additional child.
And just to go back, at any point did Ms. Dickinson state that after, in this current instance, she had, in the time between delivering the baby to placing the baby in the dumpster, did she indicate whether or not she had ever heard the baby cry or make any noises?
She stated that she had not. She stated that she was in panic and described almost auditory exclusion, like she wasn't really hearing anything.
Did she describe whether or not she had looked at the sex of the child?
She stated she had not.
Did she state whether or not that was purposeful or not?
She stated that she didn't look at, she didn't pay enough attention to the child to even know or look for the gender of the child.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions for Detective Boots at this time.
Ross?
Your Honor, so far as testimony in our position has been irrelevant to the matter of bail, we have no questions at this time for the witness.
Thank you, ma'am. You can step down. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
What's your criminal history?
She has no prior criminal history before this arrest, Your Honor. She is 28 years old. As noted, she does score a 4 on the risk assessment. However, Your Honor, based upon the factors provided in NRS 178.453, we do believe that the increase in bail in this is appropriate. As demonstrated through Ms. Dickinson's statements to Detective Hoops, this is not her first instance of discarding a child. Luckily, in this case, the child was recovered alive and did survive this incident. But, Your Honor, that this is now the second instance where Ms. Dickinson has discarded a life into a trash can. We do believe that a detention order in a high bail is warranted, and we do believe $1 million cash only would be the appropriate amount.
Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. So, first and foremost, I would like to ask that the client's presumption of innocence not get lost in all the facts that are being stated or the allegations that are being stated by the state. The purpose of bail is to establish the least restrictive means to ensure she gets to court and that she doesn't harm the community. None of the state's allegations give any indication that her actions were indiscriminate in any way. So there's no indication that there would be a risk to the greater community at large. So in terms of her returning to court, she's been here her entire life. So she's not flight risk. She has family here. Both of her parents are here. She scored a 4 on the NPRA based in part on being unhoused and unemployed. She does live here. She does have a residence that she rents. That's been verified, and she was also employed before she was brought into custody. So she has ties to this community. So going back to least restrictive means, as the state's witness already indicated, they're living paycheck to paycheck. That means she doesn't have a lot of means to post bail. So bail, as said, is already out of her reach. Anything we do above and beyond that is going to be excessive, and it's going to go against the least restrictive means that is called for in the statute. Finally, I just ask that you disregard any indication or any claims about uncharged conduct. She hasn't had her day in court. We had a pretty lengthy hearing here, but this is not a trial. She's still entitled to her presumption of innocence until she's found guilty at trial. We haven't gotten there yet. And essentially, her counsel of record has not even been appointed yet. So this is her initial appearance. This scrutiny for bail, fine. We understand, Your Honor. However, we ask that you disregard anything that hasn't been scrutinized at trial, cross-examined, or proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And on that, I'll submit.